most neutrals, they are the dark horses of the tournament. Belgium's new generation of stars are ready to show what they are all about as they take on Algeria. Host Brazil will look to seal their spot in the knockouts and also correct the flaws that seem to creep into their opening game against Croatia. Mexico stand in their way. And what Jogi Low can do, his mentor Jurgen Klinsmann can do better. USA beat fancied Ghana in a pulsating game last night. Good evening. Individually, they have stamped their class in various leagues across Europe, but can they now come together as part of the Belgian national team? Karim Ben Sharifa and Novi Kapadia fondly remember the original Red Devils of 1986 who reached the semi-finals. Can the class of 2014 follow in their footsteps? Yes, tournament dark horses Belgium embark on their World Cup campaign as they take on underdogs Algeria in the first Group H game at Belo Horizonte. It's a 9:30 start and the world is waiting. Now the Red Devils would be happy that their #1 striker Romelu Lukaku has recovered from his ankle injury and is available for selection. Now packed with a remarkable generation of players who have had outstanding seasons with top flight clubs in Europe, Belgium would be looking to make a big impact in this tournament. The North Africans, on the other hand, the most underrated team in the tournament, would be looking to Valencia striker Feghouli to make inroads into the tight Belgian defence. Novi Kapadia, what a story this. Belgium were written off in 2002. Ironically, their coach Mark Wilmots was part of that team, but they went back to the drawing boards. They've come back much stronger, and what a team they have now.
You see, at one time there was only Vincent Kompany playing. Now in all the leagues in Europe, the major leagues in Europe, they are thirsting for Belgian players. And you know the comparison, I feel it's more Belgium of 2014 will be like the exciting Denmark team of 1986. We are red, we are white, we are the Danish dynamite.
Yes.
And people like Eden Hazard, like people were talking about Michael Laudrup, the boy's a genius. Maybe those same words will be repeated about Eden Hazard.
Let's see what happens tonight, yes.
Yeah, they can be a very entertaining and exciting team.
Karim, you know, just look at this team. Wilmots actually can pick a team of 11 players plus 3 substitutes who play in the English Premier League. That's why all these players are so well known. But man to man, just look at the quality in this side. Kompany, Hazard as he mentioned, Courtois who had this great season for Atletico Madrid, Lukaku.
Well, there was a lot of work done by their technical director to put the base and the milestones of this build-up few years back. But the luck also sometimes happened that you end up with a golden generation. And that's the case for Belgium now. They are spoiled of choices. In fact, they have many injury concern. Some of their players just got injured lately. Yes. But still, they manage and they still have enough to put in a strong team that can compete with the best in the world.
Yes, let's see in fact what team Mark Wilmots could in fact put out tonight. Karim Ben Sharifa is giving us his likely 11. That's going to come up here. Yes, Courtois, who we spoke, played so well for Atletico Madrid. Vincent Kompany led Manchester City to the title. Romelu Lukaku, great season for Everton. But the man here, Eden Hazard, in his first season, he was actually red carded for kicking a ball boy. But after that, he's painted the EPL red. Karim, let's walk now to your corner and let's set up this game, because I want to talk about Eden Hazard, because this player has the potential. Everyone is talking about him having the potential to be an all-time great, but not too many people are convinced by his apparent lack of defensive abilities. Even Jose Mourinho has said that. But he is going to be key here, because Algeria are going to come very tight and he can unlock that defense.
Well, Belgium, definitely, Eden Hazard is a very, very important player for them. And I'm sure Wilmot, you know, when you have an exciting player like Eden Hazard, you have to make plan B on the defensive side. Maybe if Fellaini play here or Witsel, they should cover him in case, or instead he doesn't come back, because you don't ask a player to win games for you and yet you ask him for 100% defensive duty. That's a fact. So the Belgium side is is very strong. There is a lot of choices here, led by Eden Hazard and Lukaku. They have a very strong midfield. Whoever play, there is about 3 players here, Witsel, maybe Fellini. And they have 3 strong centre-backs, whoever they choose, from the Buiten or the 2 that I expect, or Company, the captain. So Belgium side is very, very strong on the spine, what we call the spine of the team, centrally.
Centrally.
But the weakness is these 2 side backs.
Weilerfield, yes, and Vertonghen, yeah.
Because initially they can play also centre back. So whether they will give the necessary width that will be important to unlock. If we talk about the Algerian team, which will come very compact with almost a 4-5-1, whether they can unlock them, and to do that, they need these players to reach those areas and give them the width. So there will be spaces create spaces between the back 4 to penetrate and can score goals.
I remember a match in which Liverpool played with 4 centre-backs and they got completely hammered in that one.
Absolutely.
Novi, the worry here, and we've been talking about this for the last couple of months, is do Belgium have the experience to succeed at this stage? Everyone's very happy with the way they've come about, very excited about Belgium, but do they have the experience?
Well, at least you see the difference between Denmark of '86 and Belgium of 2014 is that lots of these Belgium players play in these high-pressure, pressure cooker leagues. So they've got that experience of playing big matches. But yes, World Cup is a different ball game totally. And luckily, they've got a reasonable group. The Denmark of '86 was in a group of death with Uruguay and Germany. So they should qualify as toppers from this group, which would mean avoiding Germany, and then they could reach the quarter-final, which for a country on the make would be phenomenal. And from then, who knows? You know, these youngsters could be bubbling with confidence.
Yes, everyone is saying that this is probably the precursor to the next big Belgian attack at the next World Cup. Karim, let's talk a bit about Algeria, because Algeria in World Cups, everyone remembers 1982. Many say they were cheated out of a second round place. The results haven't been good after that. The last World Cup, they nicked a point of England. So do you think that, as you mentioned, keep it tight and somehow nick a point?
If the game end up with the draw, I think they would be happy. The North African teams, as I said yesterday about the African teams, they have quality. The quality is there. They have players also who play at the highest level in Europe. So the coach is very experienced. Wahid is very experienced coach, though he's under a lot of pressure because he's on a tussle with the Algerian media at the moment.
Isn't that always the case in Africa?
Of course, and they're basically just waiting for him to lose a game to bombard him with criticism. But for me, even the Belgium side have to be careful because they have up front few players that can make a difference. You rightly mentioned Feghouli, Slimani, the striker. These guys, they can hurt their defense if
they can be cohesive. I think that's what happened last night in the game against Iran, Nigeria. They weren't cohesive enough. They had the spaces.
Of course, yeah. So the Belgium side have to be careful up defensively.
Right.
There is very important player Lebda who play on the midfield. He's the player who controls the midfield. There is a question mark whether he starts or no. If he starts, they are quite complete. If he doesn't start, then there is a weakness.
Okay, 9:30 p.m. that start. That one is Belgium versus Algeria. There's some other games coming up tonight, and the interesting ones. Let's go to them and see what are the games coming up apart from Belgium. And just one game, you know, if I just step back, catches your attention. 12:30 a.m. Brazil, the hosts, versus Mexico. Seems to be a regular in all World Cups now. Brazil and Mexico playing. Brazil are going to be the overwhelming favorites, but a lot of questions still need to be answered by Luis Felipe Scolari and his team. Apart from the games coming up tonight, we have seen almost every other team in action. Brazil looked off pace. You all spoke about it in that first game. So clearly everyone's going to be looking at them at how they managed to correct it. But where do they stand if you compare them to, say, Germany or Netherlands, who've actually taken this tournament in a sense by the scruff of its neck?
See, so many previous senior Brazilian players, those who played in previous World Cups and won them, have said the pressure of the opening game is immense in Brazil because football sort of brings out so many emotions, intense emotions in Brazil. So once they've got over that pressure of the opening game, they've got the result, they've got the goals, and Neymar, the superstar, got 2 goals, I think they'll be a bit more relaxed. Scolari will have seen the weaknesses, the gaps coming out when Dani Alves and Marcelo overlap. I'm sure he will plug them. Who will replace Hulk? That is to be seen. Will he strengthen midfield with Ramirez? The big lurking danger is Neymar is on a yellow card. Another yellow card and he could miss an important match like the pre-quarterfinal, quarterfinal, semi-final.
But it's better to get a yellow card and miss the next one. They'll probably qualify.
Yes, that would be some of the wily things Scolari may be looking at. 2-0 up, let him handle the ball and come out with a yellow card.
Yes, you know, Karim,
with the red card as well.
Karim, I just want to pick up on what he spoke about Hulk, because this gives a chance for him to rejig his formation. And he's the 3 players being talked about are Bernard, Willian, Ramirez. But Willian and Ramirez, the Chelsea players, look the most fit to use that space where Hulk is positioned and actually part of that attacking trio.
Well, everybody is talking about the injury of Hulk, but I think based on his performance in the first game, he should be anyway replaced on this match. You know, he didn't have a good outing on the last match. There is Ramirez, there is William. I would see William as the more fit in that role of Hulk, because he's a more attacking player. Ramirez is a more of a midfield player, but William give you that pace and that penetration that he do also with the so the best replacement for Hulk will be William. Now the match is not easy, you know.
And I think Mexico dazzled all of us the way they played that day. Those runs from Peralta and then Dos Santos coming.
The current form that they have, the way they animate that 3-5-2 system. And also the statistics and the history is with them. In the last 12 matches, they beat Brazil 6 times.
Yes.
Which is a big record. I think is the only nation who can have a good record against Brazilian.
Okay, let's see how this one pans out. Remember, Karim and Novi will actually talk about this Brazil game in more detail with Sanjeev Mukherjee at 11:30 tonight, including Karim will explain where this game will probably be won or lost. Let's now look at what you have been writing into us on Twitter. And here you go. The first tweet coming up comes from Afreen. She says, football fever is up in the air. Are you excited about today's World Cup matches? Yes, Afreen, we definitely are. The next one. The dark horses for the World Cup. Belgium kick off the campaign today. Brazil play their second game. Russia start as well, writes in Aditya. The third tweet which is coming our way says, and I actually like this one, it says even John Abraham played better football in Dhan goal than Cristiano Ronaldo last night in the World Cup. The final tweet which we have picked for you is, how many enjoyed Germany's rout over Portugal yesterday? Felt bad for Ronaldo, but then 1 star can't win over an awesome team. That is what Krik Prabhu writes in. Our tweet of the day is on your screens. It said, it's Brazil again, time for some brutal action. World Cup, you got to win this one to prove that predictor wrong, writes Farhan. Remember, you can also join in on this conversation. All you need to do is tweet IBN Live with the hashtag World Cup. Keep those tweets coming in because, you know, let's make this more interactive. Okay, time for us to take a break now. When we return, we talk about the results of last night's games. Welcome back. In one of the most entertaining encounters in the World Cup so far, USA pulled off a big upset, beating African powerhouses Ghana 2-1 in their Group G opener. Jurgen Klinsmann's team got off to a flyer as Ghana were rocked by the 5th fastest goal in World Cup history. Clint Dempsey waltzing through to score 32 seconds into the game. But Ghana fought hard and finally struck back in the 82nd minute, with Asamoah Gyan backheeling it for Ayew to poke it in with his outstep. But the Americans pulled off the heist with John Brooks heading in to secure a huge win for his team in what is being called the other group of death. Now the curse of number 13 struck the 2014 World Cup as the tournament's 13th game brought about the first draw in this tournament, with Nigeria playing out a barren encounter against Iran. In spite of possessing what seemed a relatively stronger team, at least on paper, the Super Eagles produced a limp display lacking penetration and guile to beat the hardy Asian team that seemed content on sitting deep inside their own half. Okay, Kareem Ben Sharifa, Novi Kapadia, thank you so much for being part